EA is splitting into two different organizations. EA, God, dude, could they just not be multiplying, please? EA, sorry, it's my gag reflex. EA has announced that the publisher will be splitting into two different organizations, EA Sports and EA Entertainment. Could they just dissolve into nothingness? That'd be great. The announcement was made today in an EA blog, which said the company was making the next steps of its strategy by aligning our studios into two organizations that report to me, EA Entertainment and EA Sports. You can read the full statement below. The amazingly horrific experiences we create and deliver across platforms, geographies, and business models captivate hundreds of millions of players and counting as we make them throw up over and over and over at our horrendous development and publishing processes. As more and more people around the world choose games as their first and most important way to come together, express themselves, and share their fandom, what we do together as leaders of interactive entertainment matters more than ever. I don't even want to read this crap. EA Sports is home to some of the most valuable properties in all of sports with an incredible portfolio of IP, massive online communities with hundreds of millions of fans, and more global rights for more sports than anywhere else in interactive entertainment. Yeah, it's actually gross. It's like nobody else can make a flipping NFL game. They're not making FIFA anymore, but they're still going to be making EA Sports FC, which is going to be the same thing. It just won't have that FIFA branding in it, which is also a disgusting game that nobody can compete with. They make the NHL games, which are also gross. They've basically gotten themselves into this situation where they're like the only companies that make these certain sports titles, and what they do is just slap another year on the cover every year. I used to play a lot of these games when I was younger, Madden, NHL, all that kind of stuff, and yeah, yeah. But I mean, it's also what they do is they it's all they really focus on is their like ultimate team stuff. If that's even still what they're calling it. I think that's what they still call a lot of it. The ultimate team stuff, right? So it's like that's one of the reasons that they don't care too much about driving the price down after release, you know, is because their focus is getting people in and hooked on the ultimate team stuff, which is like it's loot boxing, right? So if you want to play ultimate team stuff, which all those games have it, then you need to buy packs of players. And those packs have contracts in them. So if you want to keep those players on your team, you need to keep putting them on contracts. So you got to buy more packs. You got to get the best players. You got to get, and it's like, so that's where they get people hooked in at. That's where they make a lot of their money at, is like this loot boxing mechanic. It's loot boxing. It's basically gambling and stuff in these EA games. And that's what they focus on. They don't focus on like really the other modes of gameplay that other people might possibly like or have liked over the years or anything. They let those things dwindle off and die. And they don't really. I can tell you, I've looked at these games. Like, I quit playing the NHL games 2014, 2015, something like that. And I was watching, I think it was Wick, man. I was watching Wick play NHL this past year, and I was like, dude, this game looks just like it did back in the day. It looks the exact same. There's nothing different about it. It's literally like all they do is just slap a new year on it. Yeah, it's gross. They don't really try to do anything to, it doesn't seem like anyways. It doesn't seem like they do anything to like elevate. A lot of it's because they don't have competition, right? If you don't have competition, what do you give a crap about? Everybody, your product's the only space that anybody has to go to play that genre of game, right? or that specific sport game, or you know what I mean. So they don't really care. Yeah, they're just like, well, we'll just keep focusing on exactly what we want. It's not about quality. It's about you're just pushing out the same gross stuff we always have been, and that's the thing that's bad about not having competition. And that's where I was talking about here recently. Like, for instance, you've got a game like, and this is another company that I'm not very fond of, but like 2K, right? 2K has been making the WWE games for a long time, and there's been no other. And I'm not a wrestling fan; I just know about this, right? The WWE games have traditionally been a hot flipping mess. They're not very good. They're real buggy, especially on release, and they're not fixed very fast either. But 2K knows that the WWE games don't have any competition. So if you want to play a wrestling game on a major platform, you don't have any other option. So people buy it anyways. Well, now we have AEW Fight Forever coming into the fold, where they've had some other like mobile games and stuff like that in the past, but now they've got a major platform game coming in AEW Fight Forever. And it's not a wrestling sim as much as, 2K's games are. It's more of an arcade style game, but it's at least something to bring in competition. And I truly hope what it's going to do is make 2K go, oh, well, we've got competition now. We need to elevate, our quality, the quality of our game production, our game development, right? But that's where EA gets over on people all the time. They don't have anybody that's really pushing them to elevate the quality of their game. They don't have anybody else making NHL games. They don't have anybody else making NFL games. They don't have anybody else making a decent soccer game or anything, That's true, Ferret. That's true, right? So all they do is they take the exact same game they had the year before, and it was the same game the year before that, and it was the same game the year before that, basically, and they just slap the new year on the title, right? And they're like, cool, let's ship it. Make sure that the ultimate, they change out some, players maybe that like retire and bring in some players, create players that came in as rookies or whatever. And that's about it, dude. Make sure that their ultimate team stuff's ready to rock so they get all that loot box money. And that's about it, as far as I can tell. It's really gross. That's where it sucks to not have competition. EA can get wrecked. I hate this flipping company so much. Coming from somebody that used to pre-order NHL games back in the early 2010s all the time, because I love those games. But dude, after about 5 years of pre-ordering through that entire process, I quickly saw the downgrading of the game's quality and what they were doing to only be focusing on like the ultimate team stuff. And I was like, I am done. There's no way I will be ordering these games anymore. I'll let you guys read about it. They're just talking about who's going to be taking over these divisions and everything. But, honestly, I feel like this is bad news for most of us that actually give a crap about the gaming industry. EA splitting into 2 different organizations. Like, we need more EA. You know what I mean? But that's just me. They occasionally look, this is what I'll say. They occasionally come out with a decent title. It's usually a single player title. But it's almost inevitable. When you have a company this big that just, it's like they're bound to get one here and there, But overall, pretty terrible, pretty crappy company that, like Ferret was just talking about. They really are just about like buying up as much stuff as they can, and then like just buying out competition and making sure that nobody can compete with them, so they can not have competition and don't have to worry about elevating the quality of their games or anything like that. It's pretty gross. You want to read the rest of it? It's there in chat. Try not to throw up.